Hey everybody, it's Romania Black. We are on episode 51 of Ace of the Diamond. I have fallen in love with this series. It's official. It only took 50 episodes to get there. But I really like this series. But the last 4 episodes that I watched in a chunk, where it went into Miyuki's backstory, where it established the third years and the stakes that this final game has for both Sato and Inashiro, getting Mei's backstory to an extent, this series has been so great in terms of character development and developing these characters slowly but surely. And I feel like it's all starting to add up in a really cool way. And the thing is, we're only a third of the way through the series, so there's still so much story to go. But I feel like everything's all built up to this final game of the qualifiers to see if our boys from Sato are going to make it to nationals or not. At this point, I'm at 50-50. I'm they could win against Inashiro and cause an upset, or they could lose, and this could be the last game that Tamba and Rio and June and Yuki play, and I'm not ready for that. And Chris, I'm not ready for that yet. So I hope this is a long game. I hope it's a long game because I'm not ready if it's their last one. I'm not. I really am not. I'm not ready to lose these third years. It was weird enough seeing Azuma in the last of episodes. I was like, oh God, yeah. And we didn't even know Azuma for 2 episodes and he was gone, and it felt nostalgic for him to come back. And I was like, dang. So I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to expect with this final game, but the episode is literally titled The Battle Begins. So this first season has 75 episodes. So I'm guessing this is going to be a long game. And I can't imagine it being 20 episodes. But then, I don't know, this series does crazy things where it does flashback episodes and it does entire arcs. And it could be that after this game, if they win, we have a whole arc and everything leading up to nationals. And maybe we start nationals and that's where the season ends. And if they lose, then we probably will have aftermath episodes and then leading into the new year. Because it'll be Sawamura and Furuya and Haruichi's second years. So, it's crazy to see a long-running series like this that you can still see that it's gonna keep going. Because, I love Haikyuu. I love it to death. It's one of my favorite sports anime. And it's been going for, what was this, the 4th season? But it's still on them as first years. So it's been 4 seasons of them in the same year, which is kind of crazy. But the fact that this is probably going to move forward with them getting older is really exciting, because I like when series have them mature and grow older, and you have new teams, you have new perspective. That's going to be interesting too, because eventually, at some point, even if they win nationals, a new team's going to start, so we're going to have new first years. That's crazy. Sawamura and them as upperclassmen. I'm excited. So yeah, we're watching 3 episodes this evening. I'm going to watch episodes 51, 52, and 53. And I'm assuming that's going to get us into the opening with Inashiro and see what we're working with. Because Inashiro has... It's weird because, some of you have commented, Sato is the underdog in this fight. Inashiro is the favored one to win, and we've seen why. Mei has put together his dream team, but as Miyuki says, his goal is to accept a challenge, and he doesn't want to be part of a dream team. He wants to be part of a challenge, so... my heart grows for Miyuki more and more as this series goes on. He's a troll. He can be arrogant. He can be flawed, but I just like Miyuki a lot. I really do. And all of our boys, really. There's not really a character I don't like in this series. So, there you go. At least not for our Sato boys. But let's dive in, shall we? Let's see what all we are doing with this set of episodes. So, let's do this, shall we? We're going to start Ace of the Diamond, episode 51, 52, and 53 here in 3, 2, 1, let's go. Oh, I took so many notes. Oh my gosh, I took so many notes. But yeah, this game is crazy so far. This game is, we're in the 5th inning. We're starting the 5th inning, and holy crap. I can't believe we're already at the 5th inning. Which it's been 3 episodes, but I'm a little nervous. We're already at the 5th inning. Unless everything's going to really slow down and it's going to be an episode, an inning now up until then. I don't know. I'm definitely nervous, but this game so far is so interesting, and there's so much to talk about. So first off, oh my god, this show, it could not build its third years up anymore. Like establishing just how special the third years are in this show, and that whole night before the game, I wanted to note how different it was for both Inashiro and Sato, like how they prepared for it in different ways. And we didn't get to see everybody on Sato's team. We didn't get to see all of them. Like Inashiro, it was very like quiet and muted. There was the manager, and the coaches on both teams were very similar. Like you had Kataoka and the dugout with Ray and the manager, and then you had Kunitomo with his manager in the dugout. They both were sitting out there like just calmly bracing for the storm. And it's funny the differences between the coaches, because Kunitomo, like the manager, was like, so once you go to nationals again, like it was like, man, damn, that confidence. And it's that quiet confidence. The coach doesn't really say anything at all because he's, experienced. He knows what's coming. And then Kataoka, on the other hand, is like, I just want our boys to win and go to nationals. I just want it for them. It's like, damn. And that, I feel like that's the difference between a young coach and an experienced coach. The young coach is like, yeah, we got to get there. We got to do it for him. And the experienced coach is like, it's going to happen or it's not. Like, it's a totally different mentality. But if I ship any pair, I want Wakana and Kuramochi to get together. I do, because Kuramochi, them all taking his phone, Sawamura's phone. He's like, what are you doing? It's an invasion of privacy. And then being like, is this your girlfriend? Want to text? I love high school boy shenanigans. And Kuramochi being like, Wakana, she has such a nice name. And Sawamura's like, she's not my girlfriend. Leave me alone. I love it. I love that Yuki was the designated phone holder the whole night. He was just taking photos. The captain taking all the photos of the team. I love it. And Tomba shaving his head like it's symbolic. Like, he doesn't have to shave it, but he does anyway, because it's like a symbol of him and the team. I absolutely love that moment. And just all the third year shenanigans, like them all hanging out and just having fun. And it's like the Last Supper, like the last time they give her before the game. It was so cool. And then we cut over to Inashiro, and it's like a totally different vibe. Everybody's like cleaning their gear and gearing up and getting ready. And there's like a different kind of atmosphere and a different kind of pressure. May is what surprises me the most, because May having the little tiny sign that says Ace's room. I want to say that May is an only child. He runs rampant of the only child syndrome. He just has that mentality. I'm an eldest sibling, so I definitely have eldest sibling vibes. But May surprises me, because you would think it's such a contrast. You had Miyuki and Sawamura and all of them hanging out and having fun and being together as a team, and then you cut to May by himself. And it reminded me a lot of Oikawa from Haikyuu. Like the night before their game, Oikawa's like watching the tape and he's just staring at it. And Iwaizumi gets onto him because he's like, make sure you get enough sleep. And Harada kind of does the same thing to him the next day. But the idea of May, and Harada says that ever since that game at Nationals, ever since they lost that game, May is like, it's kept him up at night and he's worried about it. So May exudes all this confidence and high energy optimism, but he's not flawless. May, as we've seen in this episode, he's not flawless. And he gets very, like, he kind of has this, like, self-deprecating, like, he hits on himself unless he, like, gets in the zone. So that shot of him under the blanket, just, like, staring in this cold sweat was pretty creepy. But it's also kind of sad, because it's like, I want May to hang out with his friends, but it also makes me think that maybe he's annoyed them so much that they're going to get away from us, because you're so conceited. But yeah, so I like that Ray and them have the conversation about the chance of winning. And the manager at first says it's 50-50, but then Kataoka's like, well, that does our opponent a disservice. And Ray says it's 40-60 in their favor. Like, we're playing it on the safe side, saying it's 40-60 in their favor. That we've got an uphill battle. And I like Kataoka kind of agrees with her on that. I just want to take them to nationals. Because they haven't gone 6 years and these guys haven't gone at all. It's like, damn. And I want them to go to nationals so badly. And I was feeling really good about it this episode. And then at the very end, I was like, the good feeling's gone. But I also like that Ray is very much a realist when they're like, do you think, when he says, I just want to take them to nationals, and Ray could say, oh, well, you're going to. Ray says, they know how you feel, that they know that you want them to go too. It's like, damn, she's just being as realistic about this as possible. And it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, the heat bothers me, of course, because it's summer and Furuya. And I've got on here, I like that Yuki and Harada meeting up. Yuki is so much shorter. Harada's a big dude. Harada is a big dude. And I said this in the reaction. Harada may be my favorite player on Inashiro. I really like Harada because he is the grounding that Mei needs. Mei is a little shit. He is a little gremlin. I like Mei a lot. I loved him in these episodes. But Mei is just so cocky. And Harada is like the grounding. He's the anchor. And he's the captain in the third year. So of course Harada is. And Harada's like, look, chill. And that moment that when he did the first pitches and Mei was getting kind of crazy with it. And Harada's like, he gives him the play. And Mei's like almost offended by it. He's like, oh, you want me to pitch that? And Harada's like, this isn't a threat. This is telling you to calm down. And I'm like, ooh, I like that. And that's also what makes me think that Mei and Miyuki would be a terrible battery because Miyuki is super cocky and confident. Mei is super cocky and confident. It's like two sides of the magnet. It's like you got two plus symbols on the magnet. They don't compete. They're not compatible. It's like you're facing the battery the wrong way, right? Whereas Harada's like the negative and Mei's like the positive. So they work as a battery. Sawamura and Miyuki work as a battery. Furuya and Miyuki work as a battery because Furuya is like not cocky at all. He is, but he's not like externally cocky. Like he just wants to be on the mound and he's like, I got this. And then Tamba and Miyuki don't get along quite so much because they have kind of different personalities that kind of don't gel as good. But yeah, I really like Harada a lot. Mei with his hat just mirroring Miyuki, like, come on, ex-boyfriend material. I love Ryo's line because Sawamura, he's grown. He's gained some experience. He's still loud, but he's much kinder and he finally got, like, I love Haruchi was correcting him the whole time. Haruchi was like, you're getting closer to saying it right. Good, you got it. But I love Ryo's line, barking dogs seldom bite. I like that. He's like, you're being loud and it's not going to have as much impact, right? And then the idea of Mei not sleeping well. Mei having not given up a run until this game is crazy. And I think that helps set the stage for Inashiro figuring out that Sato is a much tougher opponent than the other teams they faced this tournament. Because the fact that Mei, basically, that none of the other teams scored the whole tournament. It was a 0 to whatever game. That's insanity. So I love that right off the bat that Sato got a run like that. It was like, yes, awesome. And Kuramochi, I love Kuramochi. He's so great. I felt for him this episode, especially when what happened to Rio. I was like, but I felt for him. I love the idea of just Kuramochi being like, I'm going to steal. Kuramochi and Carlos are your equivalents. But Carlos is a little bit more sly than Kuramochi. So there's that. I love Mei and Harada as the battery. Mei's expressions this whole episode, what a gremlin. What a gremlin. And when he gets pissed off, it's like, oh, he has that like cold look in his eyes. It's like, because Mei losing that run, that pissed him off so much. It was like, oh my gosh. And the Jaws theme plays. I like that Shunshin is here making commentary. I like that Shunshin came to watch the game, this experienced third year making the commentary. And I like that we had Tamba's childhood friend. I can never remember his name. But we had him and his team that lost to Yakushi. We have them making commentary as well. I like that. I like when the other teams are commenting too. Here's the thing. Furuya, I never thought of this. I've been wondering the whole time how I've been wondering the whole time how Sawamura and Mei would interact with each other. Because Sawamura is so loud that Mei would probably be like, you're an idiot. Like, I feel like Mei could shrug Sawamura off pretty easily because Sawamura is so loud that Mei would just be like, you're just an idiot, whatever. But I hadn't thought about this. Furuya is such an enigma to Mei, and I kind of love it. I really, Furuya at first in this series, Furuya's grown on me a lot over the course of the series. What I love about Furuya in this game is he's not frazzled. He comes out, he's humble, he like thanks his teammates, and even Sawamura's like, oh, Furuya, cool. And then he just comes in and is calm, cool, and collected. He just wants to pitch. Like, I love how simple Furuya is. He just wants to come and pitch the ball. And he's not condescending. He's not mean-spirited. He just comes and does his thing. And I don't think May knows how to take that. May's like, I can't read you. And that's what bothers him. And I love it. He's almost jealous of Furuya. And in my shippy headcanon was like, oh, May thinks that Miyuki and Furuya have a thing. And he's like, how dare you steal my boyfriend? It's like, no, I do not get Miyuki Furuya ship vibes at all. Miyuki just admires that Furuya is a good pitcher and his control has gotten better. But yeah, I was so baffled by that. And Furuya was on fire these episodes to the point where I was like, Furuya's doing really good, so something bad's gonna happen. And the something bad, that's the thing. I like that our characters all have to where they're not perfect. Like, even May, these episodes, May proved that he's not perfect. He takes a while to warm up. The problem is May knows how to pace himself, and once he gets warmed up, he's a problem. But if you score on him early on in the game, then you can do good. So we learned that about May. But Furuya is such a great pitcher, but once he starts to lose his stamina, it's like all downhill from there. And by the fourth inning, he was like starting to nosedive, and it was like, that's his problem. So Carlos and Hirakawa, getting them up and down. I like Carlos's character, him just naked in the window the night before the game. It's like, okay. But yeah, that was really good. And then Carlos is fast. Really fast. And it's kind of like the animation was almost like sped up with him going. Crazy talk. Let me see. The statement of striking out Yuki, May just like going all out on Yuki, because I love that moment when the band was playing and May was like, shut up. Like, May is our crusher of worlds, right? And May wants to stop. May wants to like stop people in their tracks. And so when the band's playing and everybody's like cheering on their captain, he wants to shut them down. And so he does with Yuki, because he knows how much power Yuki has as the captain in leading the momentum of the game. And so we're going to talk about that later on. But I really, really like that. The idea that May knows who to strike out. And the big difference between May and Furuya is that May has conditioned himself and paced himself to know who to strike out, to not waste pitches, and to know when to go all out. So, and May knows that because there isn't a pitcher relay within Ishiro. May has to last the whole game or they're screwed. I mean, they have the other guy that can pitch. Sure. But May is like their trump card. So that coach knows that if May goes down, it's going to affect the team in a big way. So May has conditioned himself to exert only as much energy as he needs to. Furuya's problem is he goes all out from the start, and it's great, but he wears himself down. Like, he pitched 68 times in 4 innings. That's crazy. So of course he was tired. And he pitched a lot of extra pitches he probably didn't need to have made. So I really like that kind of, and experience will teach that. So I hope that moving forward, if Miyuki works with Furuya, it'll be to get him to where he doesn't make those unnecessary pitches. He can go all out, but be more controlled. So yeah, by the 4th inning, and that line by the reporter and the journalist that the ball on Carlos could have gone either way. That's such a great point. Like, it could have been a strike or it could have been a ball. Because here's the thing, because it was a ball and Carlos walked, that's how they scored that second run. And that's how they took the lead. So it was all because of that one call. Like, that puts a lot of pressure on your umpire, and that's insane that if it had gone, and Miyuki looked surprised in that moment. Miyuki was like, it's a ball, and yeah, it could have changed the whole outcome of the game if it had been a strike. But you don't know. It could have been a strike, and then he could have hit the very next ball, right? Out the park. You just don't know. But the fact that it has that much impact is really crazy. And so then we have Masa overthinks. So the idea that that Harada overthinks things, that's what May's worried about. He's like, Harada overthinks some of his moves. That's interesting. And then Miyuki or Furuya as, yeah. Okay, so then May getting mad at either Miyuki and Furuya. It's like, well, who's he mad at more? But yeah, I love May's fascination with Furuya. That's really, really good. I'm trying to look at my notes here to see what all I put down. So yeah, the cleanup. The coach's words to Harada, that was so cool. The only time we've heard this coach talk in all 3 episodes, Kunitomo, was when he told Harada, he's like, I want you to stay in the box not as a captain or as a catcher, but as cleanup. That's really cool. The idea that he's like, look, I know you're going to be in there thinking, like, what's he going to pitch? Because you're a catcher. And Miyuki does that all the time as a batter. Miyuki's like, well, how would I pitch? How would I direct the pitcher? And he gets, like, in that mindset. And the coach is like, nah, forget that. Don't worry about how the catcher's calling the pitch. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the pressure of you being a captain and that impact it has. Don't even think about it. Just focus on being cleanup. That's really cool. I like that mentality a lot. So, Rio. It happened these episodes. I wondered when it was going to happen. And Rio, that leg, it's the reason they got that second run from Carlos, from that call, and from Rio. And Kuramochi knows. And I hate it. God, I hate it. And you could tell that Rio is so aggravated by it. It's like, and nobody else knows. But yeah, if his leg wasn't injured, he could have made it and got that ball. And it would have changed the whole outcome of the game. So I'm like, if they lose this game because of Rio's injury, because of that move, I'm going to be kind of mad at Rio. Because, one, he didn't need to put that pressure on Kuramochi. But also, I don't know what he could have done a few nights before. But still, if they lose, and it's going to go back to that move. And it's like, damn. But Kateoka's speech, that was so badass. I love, because yeah, they all figure out, they're like, how's the pitches? And when he gets to Yuki's just on fire, and he's like, I don't want to know. It's like, I don't want to know. But he's like, Mei's only going all out on Yuki. What does that say about us? How do you guys feel about that? The fact that he doesn't think you're worthy to go all out on. And they all get pissed off. And he's like, yeah, I'm mad about it too. Because they're not taking them seriously. He's like, they're not taking Sato seriously. They're only striking out Yuki intentionally and going all out. He's like, we need to change that. We need to be aggressive. Make them feel pressure. Make Mei feel pressure. And it's like, But then, yeah, that whole like look between Mei and Miyuki, the tension is there, y'all. It is there. I love it. I love it so much. And Mei just wanting to strike out Miyuki. It's like, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. But yeah, so we're in the 5th inning now. We're halfway through. I don't think the game will be over in 3 more episodes, though. That would be episodes 54, 55, 56. We'd still have like 15 episodes left of the season. Unless our guys win and they go to nationals. I don't know. But yeah, we're only in the 5th inning. So I'm like, unless they do like an episode an inning at this point, unless the game slows down, we do like an episode an inning. If we went to 10 innings, that would be like 54, 55, 56, 57, 58. I don't know. I agree with Ray. It's a 60-40 chance that our guys could win. I felt really good up until that last part of the episode. My fear is that Tamba, they know how Tamba pitches. That's my worry. My worry is they know how Tamba pitches. And even though he's got the fork ball, and that's something new, I still worry about Tamba. Because even there was like a little hint where even the catcher was like, I don't want you going all out, because he's worried about his shoulder. He's worried about everything. And I worry about Sawamura. I worry about Kawakami, because Kawakami is like the least mentally stable of all of them when it comes down to pressure. And so, I just worry a lot about the outcome of this game. But, there is a ray of hope there at the end of this episode, at the end of episode 53, because Tamba's friend, their team were all like, they were all starting to go down the doom and gloom route. Like, oh, if they do 3 up, 3 down, if they don't, this is the inning that's going to decide it. And if they don't do something, they're all going to, it's going to go in Inashiro's favor. And right as they're giving that doom and gloom speech, Furuya makes the hit. And it's like, Furuya's been like, he got to base. He made the play. It's like, nah, this game ain't over yet. Sato ain't done yet. It's like, I just love Mei's, like, animosity towards Furuya. Because it's completely one-sided. It's completely one-sided. Furuya doesn't even know that Mei has any animosity toward him. And Mei's over there freaking out like, I can't read you. Get frustrated. What are you doing? And just getting all flustered. And Furuya's just like, I just want to pitch and I'm hot. I kind of love it. I kind of love how frustrated May gets with Furuya, and it's totally one-sided, and Furuya has no clue what's going on. So this was an amazing start to this final game. I honestly couldn't have expected anything better, but I really loved the first part with the shenanigans with the third years and setting everything up. There's so many thumbnails I could pick for this episode. I'm going to go back and think about it, but I'm curious to know your thoughts down below, what you all thought of this episode. This was really good, but I'm excited to see where we go to from here. So in any case, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and next week we'll do episodes 54, 55, and 56 of Ace of the Diamond. Bye.